Why me? You go to the streets, you find the street families. They have children. Then you ask God, God, even these people have children.
Why not?
You are servant. You are denying children.
Yes.
That night I was working on shift and I looked at her and said,
She looked like a good person.
yeah, something was telling me.
But you are a Christian.
You've been
How would you look at somebody who lusts for
Well,
eyes?
Christians are human beings also. Christians are human beings. We have emotions just like anybody else. It's
Yes,
only that the Holy Spirit helps us to control some of these things. But yeah, Christians also know can see good things. When she informed her parents that I want to bring a friend whom we are planning to get married, God willing, and he explained to me that this guy comes from the coast and all these other things. I don't know any other things that she said. But the parents were adamant and they're saying,
no,
leave alone your friend. Even you don't step in our home. Then he says, can we have all the fathers to stand up?
Fathers in this church.
Fathers. And by that time, I was about 7 years into marriage without a child. May all the fathers stand up? Then, of course, I know I'm not a father. I don't stand up.
7 years?
Yeah.
So you are not a father?
I'm not a father. I'm seated at the altar. Of course, I'm a church elder. By that time, I was a lay reader. Then he asks all the fathers to stand up.
People stand up.
People stand up. Then he turns back and says, I think there are people who have not heard what I've said. I have said, can I say it in Kiswahili? Wale wote ambao wanaitwa baba wasimame.
One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright.
Welcome to Let's Talk Love, Kenya. This is a new YouTube channel I have started to help us have a conversation about love in the country, but more so about love in families. In these conversations, we'll be looking at some of the issues that may affect families. Issues which I believe can be resolved if there is sufficient love in family or in the country. In our last episode, I talked about barrenness, and in which I said, perhaps more than anything else, it is the lack of a child in a family that is the most trying thing. Throughout history, in the Bible, from friends and families, we know of the agony families face when there's no child. I looked at some of those things and I promised that I'll be bringing a guest. Today, we have a guest who has a compelling story, a really life story that is larger than life. A man who has gone through what many of us will have a problem handling, even if we face just about an eighth of what he faced. I bring our guest to begin by telling us who he is. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Prof. With that kind of introduction, one really fails to know where to start from. But of course, these are things we'll have to discuss. My name is Jacob Mulanda, recently an ordained priest.
Ordained priest?
Yes, from Malindi Diocese, the Anglican Church of Kenya.
Anglican.
Yes.
Ordained priest.
Yes. But generally, I've been handling events as an events organizer, master of ceremony.
What people call MC.
Yes, what people call MC.
Yes.
Organizing weddings, corporate events,
Yes.
and bit of inspirational talks to schools
What
and
people
to
call
any
motivational talks.
motivational speaker. Well, when you call it motivational speaker, sometimes it has a wrong connotation because they normally say when you motivate a fool, he becomes a motivated fool, you know.
Yes, yes.
So really would really wish to refer to it as an inspirational talk, just trying to encourage people how to face life, that kind of a thing.
Does it spring from your own life experiences?
Yes, I borrowed so much from my life experiences. Although it started as a hobby, I felt I just knew it. But as they say, when you are given lemons, you make a lemonade. Through my life experiences, now I decided to make it my duty.
I understand you also have some training in that direction.
Yes, I've trained in motivational speaking, public speaking. I've did a degree in communication. So really trying, and I was
psychology.
empowering myself. I also did counseling psychology. I had higher national diploma in counseling psychology.
That's wonderful.
So these things have really equipped me to be able to face the world and face life as it comes.
So once again, welcome. How was it like growing? I mean, how was your life as you growing up?
We were born in a family of 10 siblings only.
Only?
Only 10. And I happened to be the 8th. So I really thank God that my family did not plant families. Otherwise, I would not have
If
been
they stopped
born.
at 5,
You would not see. I would not have seen.
What
me.
is your view on family planning?
Well,
Especially given what you are saying, you are number 8, and what you have gone through in life.
times have changed. Times have changed because the economy has also become, challenging. So people would really wish to have the number of children whom they can really take care of, and that's what I think is ideal. Not just get children for the sake of it, but children whom you can provide for. So if you can provide for 10, there's no problem. There's no problem.
I met you when you were an adult.
Yes.
When you came to read at the university.
Yes.
So I understand you have a degree in communication.
Yes.
I saw it.
Yes.
I think I participated in crafting your book.
And I really appreciate you.
Can you tell us your background that finally saw you come to university at your age?
Okay, I had been, I was employed by blue chip company in the country.
Yes.
And I worked for 21 years.
Yes.
And in the process of working, I felt I had that talent of public speaking. Yes. And I thought, as people who also live on their talent, yes, I wanted to live on my talent. Yes. So I decided to quit employment after 21 years, yes, to pursue my passion, yes, which is public speaking. Yes. And I thought communication would make it. That's why I joined the University of Nairobi to do communication. That's how we met. Yes. Just to hone my skills. And people are wondering, why would you go for a degree and yet we know you're already good at public speaker? But of course,
we live in a world where people look at the label.
Oh yes.
And there's a poem, the label and the label.
And again, I also realized there are new things to learn always. I got out a different person.
It was not a waste of time.
I got out a different
not a
person.
waste of money?
No, sure,
not a waste of money.
Not really.
But before that, how had been your educational journey? Just in brief.
Well, I belong to the old school system, from standard 1 up to 7. Then from 7, I went to Malindi High School from 1 up to Form 4. Then I went back to Form 5 and 6.
Same school?
The same school.
But you didn't go to university?
I didn't go to university straight away. Yes. And that's when I was up. 2 years after that, when I was employed with Kenya Breweries.
And you married almost after that?
Yeah, not really. I stayed a bit. I can say by the main standards, I married a bit late. I married when I was about 36 years old. Oh. And really...
You're a man of many things. At 36, I married at 22.
Yeah, and I can't really attribute it to anything else. I think yes. I just felt I was relaxed. It was not a big issue. Yes. But I think it was when I got born again, that's when I realized, now I think now I'm a new person. I need to change my lifestyle. And I think that's when I realized that, maybe God didn't want me to get married while I'm not living in that kind of life. It was after that one, that's when I realized now it's high time for me to get, so I got married.
Tell us a bit. You are talking of 36 years. Mm-hmm. That 6 years, you could walk into a marriage with your eyes open, because many people who marry young,
Yes.
they are either meeting somebody in circumstances that are defined by ignorance and inexperience of youth,
Yes. Yeah.
or drunk on emotions and fluctuations. At that 6, somebody is fairly mature.
Yes.
What was it like? How did you meet your wife?
I can say it was a miracle. Just before then, as I told you, immediately after I got saved, that's when I decided to look for a partner.
Yes.
And I got one who comes from some parts of Kenya.
Yes.
And we engaged, all things were well, but she had some issues with her parents.
Yes.
Because we're not coming from the same tribe, this thing of tribalism and whatever. So I took her.
She was a Christian like you?
She was a Christian like me.
Born again?
Born again.
Okay.
I took her to my home, introduced her to my parents, and they were happy. And we thought that things would work. But after that,
You had a wedding or
now,
something like that?
no, I didn't get married immediately.
Okay.
We're now planning now.
And the dating?
After
or
yes,
just dating, yeah.
yes, dating and
Within the Christian context.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So after taking her to my home, it was my turn. It was her turn for her to take me to her home.
Yes.
Then when she informed her parents that I want to bring a friend whom we are planning to get married, God willing.
Yes.
And he explained to me that this guy comes from the coast and all these other things. I don't know any other things that she said. But the parents were adamant and they were saying,
No.
leave alone your friend. Even you don't step in our home. If that's the kind of person you want to bring us here.
Wow. I can't believe it.
And it was difficult. She could not tell me immediately. She decided to go underground in the first place.
Because she couldn't know face you.
How to face me. But I looked for her, I got her, and she told me, my parents disappointed me. They told me this and that. And even some of my sisters also contributed. They told me that place is very far. How do you get married there? All those other things. And
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
I can see you going through all that. 5 years into the marriage, and you have no child. Did anything cross your mind? I wish then it stopped there when the parents didn't want me, and she was like also hesitant. Did you say? Did you get that feeling that I wish it remained like that? I didn't get her.
Maybe,
I wish her parents had their way.
Maybe I will take you back because this is a different relationship than the one I got married to.
Yes.
Because that relationship never worked at all.
Oh, that one never worked.
That never worked at all.
Another one.
Yes,
Oh.
because that was the first one after deciding to get married.
So this is the one who would stay with you without a child for a long time.
No, not that one.
Okay.
Not that one. This was the first one we met and we were planning
So
to
you
get
got
married.
there, okay, then?
So he got there then. So the parents refused and she could not sustain an argument. So we had to part ways.
So you parted ways.
Yes. Then we started. Then I started another relationship. Now this is what brought me to now 36 years because it took me about
that was
2 or 3
36 years.
Yes.
Like 4 years or so.
Yeah, took about 3 years for me now to get into another.
To forget about this one.
Yes. So
Had you invested in it emotionally?
yes, of course, because I was excited. I had saved a few things and had money for the sake of wedding and the dowry and all those
It had
things.
gone to the level of you wanting to have a wedding.
Yes.
But the parents were adamant.
Parents refused. And
She couldn't convince them.
Yeah, so when they refused, I took that money. I went and bought some sofa sets, some fridges, some cooks, and to start all over again.
What would you tell people who face those sorts of challenges? You want to marry a Muslim girl and you are Christian, or you want to marry from a very rich family and you are from a very poor family. Just one word, what can you tell people in that kind of situation?
It's very unfair. It's very unfair to judge somebody because of his or her background.
Yes.
Because when two people fall in love, we want to prescribe the kind of life they should lead because as the way we live,
that's not good.
It's not good. It's
But
not.
now,
It's not
what I'm
good.
saying is this: what advice would you have to a close friend, your nephew, your niece, your daughter, if you see them working in a relationship of that nature? What word would you have for them? Could you urge caution on their part?
Well, I would urge them to first and foremost know where they are coming from, because it's very important to know where you are coming from. If your parents are that kind of those ones who are demanding so much and they're kind of controlling your life, then it's a bit unfortunate, but you will need to know how to walk in those landmines. Otherwise, ordinarily, I would advise parents, especially parents, to let their children, to guide them as much as they can, but to let them be free whenever it comes to choosing a life partner, because you see that is a kind of life they are going to
not yours.
to lead.
Their life.
They had their own lives.
Okay, fine. So now tell us more now about the new spouse, the new partner.
So now after that, I was just in my house, and one evening I saw a lady, and her brother came to my house.
Yes.
She happened to have finished teachers college,
Yes.
and they were going home.
Yes.
And I was staying with my nephew, and it happened that they were neighbors with my nephew where they come from.
Yes.
So because I was staying with my nephew, they decided to, because we were coming from Meru, so they had to sleep over in Nairobi, then they go to Malindi the following day.
Yes.
And why I said it was a miracle is because she had a brother who was working at Jomo Kenyatta, JKUAT.
Yes.
But they didn't stop there. They came and stopped my place, and I was staying at Ruaraka. So they spent the night there. That night I was working on shift, and I looked at her and said,
She looked like a good person.
yeah, something was telling me.
But you are a Christian.
You've been
How would you look at somebody who lusts for
Well,
life?
Christians are human beings also. Christians are human beings. And we have emotions just like anybody else. It's
Yes,
only that
yes,
the Holy
yes,
Spirit
yes,
helps
yes.
us to control some of
Okay.
these things. But yeah, Christians also know can see good things. So I saw her and I thought, she's not a bad one after all. But
You left it cool.
I just let it cool. After all, they were my visitors. They was my nephew's friends. So they spent there, and the following day they went. Then after they went, then I asked my nephew, who is it? Who is this? Who they are? So they told me, and it happened that they were neighbors. So the other time I went home, I saw her again. She saw me, and the only thing which really, now I had gone there for a mission, but she kind of broke my heart a bit, because Swahilis, our greetings. If someone tells you shikamo, it means he really respects you, and you see when someone gives you a shikamo, it's equivalent to maybe your daughter or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now look at me. I've gone there. I want to make a proposal, and she's calling me. She's telling me shikamo. I said, okay, marahaba, but of course, of course I knew, and that went through that one. I asked my sister, how do you find this girl? How's the family? And she told me, well, unless there are things that I don't know, but the much that I know, she's a good lady. Okay. So I requested her to escort me. She reluctantly did. We went, as I was going back, went to Malindi, sat somewhere, and I was blunt that I saw you for the first time when you came to my place, and I thought that
you talk like a teenager.
Well, of course, you have to get into that.
Yes.
No, these things, love, I'm telling you,
Yes.
even if you are 70 years old,
Love
when you
is
get
love.
into a relationship,
Yes.
you become like an 18 years old person.
Aha.
I'm telling you, it never grows old.
Yes.
So I went there, told her, okay, fine, I would want us to be friends, friendship which perhaps may lead to marriage. And of course, like any other lady said, okay, let me go and pray about it, let me think about it.
During our days in high school, they would say, let me go and cogitate over it. Yes.
Yeah,
So she went
Christians will say,
cogitate
let
over
me
it.
go and pray about it. I see I didn't expect it because I'm seeing you like my uncle.
She was also Christian.
Yes.
The first one was also Christian.
Yes.
This one again is
He
Christian.
was also a Christian.
Born again, most likely.
Born again. But the Bible tells us that we should not be yoked with unbelievers for very obvious reasons, because if you're walking south and he's walking west, you cannot meet somewhere. Yeah. So it started off like that, and one thing led to the other until we decided, we planned for a grand wedding.
And which you had.
Which we had a good wedding.
That was your day, your big day in life.
Presided by a bishop, for that matter. And my colleagues from work, they came. We had a very, very nice beach wedding.
Yes.
It was very nice.
A beach?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Two Christians
Yes.
tying the knot,
Yes.
walking the aisle
Oh, yes.
to begin a new life.
Absolutely.
So you entered into this new life with a lot of hope,
Yes.
expectations,
Definitely.
looking forward to living happily thereafter.
Thereafter, as they normally say, get children immediately, because I
Yes.
was in a hurry. 36 years, I mean, and planning this
My boy,
thing.
at 36 years,
Yes,
it
yes,
should
yes,
be
yes.
fast
Microwave.
microwave,
Microwave.
instant coffee. You have a child, and most likely
Oh,
another.
yes, you get your 2-3 children, then you close the chapter so that you
I
start
had a friend of
looking at these
mine.
things.
I want to say he's my childhood friend.
Mm-hmm.
When I was home last week, he's retired now 4 years. He was telling me now, I want to prepare you for retirement. You know, retirement comes a little later.
Yes.
You have more years than other public service. She told me, I want to prepare you. That man stayed with a wife for a long time without a child. And two things. One is that later, after he married and got children, he told me, my friend Manyora, do you know that day you and I were going to college, carrying our briefcases?
Yes.
I kept asking myself, why am I doing this? Why am I going to college? For who? Because he had stayed maybe 15 or 20 years without a child. But later I got married. The second thing about him is that exactly what you are saying. He got one. At some point he was getting 2 children in a year. He get one in January, and October he has another one. And he has many children, so continuing.
Yes,
So
yes,
you
yes.
would expect to kind of get into this new relationship
And because again, I talked about societal demands and that you should be married so that at this particular time you are done with educating, all these other theories we're talking about.
Yes.
And yes, I got into that trap and said we just go for it immediately.
No inhibitions, nothing. But
1 year.
off the camera, you as we come to the end of this first episode, off the camera, you told me that you are here in church. Can you share that with us? You are in church, and some pastor comes.
Yes, may I first and foremost look at a disclaimer to people it's normal, but we try to be a bit sensitive. This is an incident where I'm in church. Of course, I'm at the altar, and we've got a visiting preacher.
Yes.
Then he says, "Can we have all the fathers to stand up?"
Fathers in this church.
Fathers, and by that time I was about 7 years into marriage without a child. May all the fathers stand up? Then of course I know I'm not a father. I don't stand up.
7 years.
Yeah.
So you are not a father.
I'm not a father, and I'm at the pulpit.
And he's saying, "Father, stand up."
I'm at the altar. Yes, fathers, may all the fathers stand up. Then
You see somebody sitting. And
he's
looking at your
preaching.
age.
He's preaching at the pulpit. I'm seated at the altar. Of course, I'm a church elder. By that time, I was a lay reader. Then he asks all the fathers to stand up.
People stand up.
People stand up. Then he turns back and says, "I think there are people who have not heard what I've said. I have said." Can I say it in Kiswahili? Wale wote ambao wanaitwa baba wasimame.
So people in that church know about you.
They know about me.
They have
All
been
of
praying
them
for
are
you.
looking at me. They are like, "Can't you stop that narrative?" And
It's difficult. He doesn't know.
I remained put. I didn't sit.
You didn't stand.
I didn't stand. Then
What's going on in your mind?
Then it was. I can't tell you exactly what he preached on that particular day. I can, because my mind was so far. It was so a distraught moment for me.
So there you are, newly married, with a lot of expectations to live happily thereafter. But for you at 36, top on the list, children, as fast
As possible.
as possible.
Yes.
So 1 year down the line,
Yeah. What happened was that we had a serious discussion before we got married.
yes,
And she told me, she opened up to me. She told me that she has had a problem of hormonal imbalance. So she had not yet seriously followed it up medically, but she told me that her periods were very
Erratic.
Era very erratic. She could go for even 3-4 months without getting some periods. Then Ska said, well, I think it's something that can be corrected. We shall see.
Before marriage.
Before marriage.
She was that.
Yes, she was that candid. She was that candid. Because actually, when we were going through the counseling session, we were asked, is there anything that you are carrying into this? Because like I was asked, you are 36 old. You don't look like a kid. Do you have had maybe sired a child outside marriage or something? And it's very important for you to know. So could you disclose? And I said, yeah, I don't have. And so when she was asked, she also said she has had that problem. But of course, because it was a medical thing, we thought that it could be rectified. So he walked into it knowing that there was that problem. But it was, to me, it wasn't such a big problem because we knew it would be addressed. So we went, when we tried, it was not happening,
At what point did it become a matter of concern?
After the first year wasn't a very big deal because she was still working in Malindi. So I would only go there over the weekend, or maybe she would come, and these things would not be very much worried about those things. So I think in the second year is when I managed to get her transfer to come over. So when the second year elapsed without us getting...
And yet you are now staying together?
Yes, we are now staying together. So I said, it became a bit, okay, now, what can we do? And because I was working in a good
at that point, are you alarmed or just a normal concern?
No, just the normal
concern.
Yeah, just the normal concern, but not alarming as such.
Especially with the prior knowledge you had.
Yes,
you were able to balance it.
Yes. So we started going to see some medics in our company clinic. We were referred to several gynecologists. She went. I was also advised to go for some tests so that because those issues, the biggest problem is that in most cases, whenever there is an issue of children, it's always the wife.
Men seem to think it is just the women.
It's just the women.
So a woman will go 1 year, second year.
And gets all those kind of condemnations. She can't, all those other things. So just to rule out everything, I also went to a urologist who examined me and said that there were small issues that could also be contributing, but they can be rectified. Yes. So I was also put under medication, and she was also put under medication, and we went to different hospitals after we.
But your problems, although noticed,
yes,
could not have been responsible for the barrenness,
No,
they could contribute.
They could contribute. Yes, they could contribute. They could contribute to some extent. But everything else was dependent on the regularity of her periods. Because if she can't she can't get periods, no matter how fertile I am. You cannot fertilize an egg which is not existing. You see.
So now this is going on for checkup. Interventions, medical interventions.
Yes, interventions.
It took you to which year are we talking about now?
We are talking about the third year. We are in the third year now.
You are going there with all the hope.
Yes. Go through some tests.
All the doctors you met,
even professors. There's another professor, by the way, a professor who really discouraged my wife, and I had really to intervene and calm her down because he described that condition. He told her that you are menopause.
And she menopause means you are an old woman.
And to me,
you are old and beyond.
Oh yes, you cannot have children anymore. And she's below 30. How can she be menopause?
It was simply a medical term.
Yes, a medical term. So I came to understand there that it's not an issue. It is more prominent at an older age, but it doesn't mean that it cannot happen even at a younger age.
My sister died. And when I talked to the doctor, he told me it was abortion. So I said, my sister doesn't have children. How on earth could she
abort?
It's my sister,
Yes.
I have children. She's the one I follow. She has never had a child. How could she abort? So I got to know that is a medical term.
Exactly,
That it
exactly,
is
exactly.
preterm, whatever it is.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's not what we give it ourselves.
Yeah, so
Okay,
it really
God
discouraged.
rest her soul. She was
It
my
really
best sister.
discouraged her. She said she doesn't want to see that professor anymore. Doesn't want to do anything. In fact, now we decided to go to Chinese herbal now.
Yes.
We even went someplace here around which
Whatever it is, yes,
yes,
somewhere, yeah.
that place for Chinese.
Did you- yes.
You know, it was still not
Did
working.
you try traditional?
The lowest went was the Chinese,
Chinese, yeah.
herbal Chinese, and it was not still working. And remember now pressure has started coming in, but not that intense as such. But of course, the people who started now saying, "Oh, you know, your wife is not going to get pregnant because she used to she aborted so many children."
That's what the normal say.
That's why even her uterus was removed, and now they're talking about those things, and yet
You have the medical
I've
facts.
got a medical report, the uterus, I've got a scans, x-rays, everything is normal. But then I told her, and of course,
Now you can imagine if the person they are talking to hadn't taken the wife through those checkups and so on, he would believe them.
yes,
And the
yes.
normal consequence will be you divorce your wife
Yes,
or you marry another
yes,
wife.
and really, what saved my marriage? I don't want to take that credit, but what really saved my marriage is that I told her that if you hear anything negative, people are talking negative about you, you should know that it is coming from our people. And if I hear anything negative about you, I will know it's coming from it's coming from your relative. Why? Your relative will always want to protect you. My relatives would always want to protect me, but those other people.
What kind of person was her? Because these things are not just there, you can handle them. Also the kind of person you are. Tell us about her in terms of her personality and character.
My wife was very much loving, a prayerful woman. What I came to learn later was that she was a bit temperamental, but a doctor told me it's because of that the hormonal imbalance causes
Creates
this,
those kind of
that kind of tension. So she told me your wife needs a lot of peace. If you are to conceive, she needs a lot of peace because sex starts in the mind.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so if she's distracted, you will have problems. You see. So I comforted her and told her, if you hear anything negative about me,
Yes.
you should know it has come from your people. If I hear anything negative about you, it has come from my people. Because some people are telling me that guy is impotent. He cannot sire children. You know. So
now.
Yes. Now me. So I told her, look, if you hear anything negative, for as long as it has not come from me, ignore it.
So now you go
And if I hear anything negative, for as long as you have not told
that
me,
kept you strong and going.
it kept us going because I told you, forget about this noise. That noise will always be there.
Let's handle this, the two of us.
The two of us. After all, I'm the one who is married to you. I love you, and let us handle it.
Now that you talk about love,
Yes.
would I be wrong to conclude that love has a place in all this? That without love, you may not last such a relationship?
Absolutely. Love has to be love has to be there, because when you love somebody, you will be accommodative.
Okay.
You will not want to hurt him or you want to hurt her.
Yes.
You see, you'll be able to understand. You'll be able to empathize and know this situation the way it is. This is how it's required. Because you see, it's not something of her own making. It's not something of my own making.
Yes.
We didn't contribute towards that. No one would wish to be barren.
Let me ask you,
Yes.
point blank.
Yes.
I hinted at this, but now let me put it differently. The urologists and the doctors you visited told you had some small challenge.
Yes.
Supposing you never had any challenge at all, 3, 4, 5 years without a child, Christian and all that, love and all that, could you have been tempted perhaps to do a little overlapping and perhaps look for a child outside like some men do?
Let me say this. Let me say this, and this is deviate a bit, but I'm still making my point.
Yes.
Many people, and this is an advice young people should really embrace,
Yes.
don't know the right reasons why they are getting married. If you get married for the wrong reasons, your marriage will not last.
Okay.
The basis of any marriage should be love. And not just the feelings. Allow me to say, give you a small story.
Please.
A young girl was engaged to a boy, and they wanted to get married, and they went to a marriage counselor. And the marriage counselor asked the young lady, can you tell me what is that which makes you feel that you are in love with this guy? She said, well, I love that man. When I see him, I feel like I can't even walk. When he touches me like this, I feel like my legs cannot support me. My breath is running. All those things.
Yes.
The marriage counselor told her, stop. Can you go for a checkup? Those are asthmatic symptoms, not love, And this is what young people look at. You feel, it's not about feeling, because if you're feeling, one day it's there, tomorrow it's not there. Why? You should know exactly why you're getting married. If you're getting married because you want children, it's a wrong reason. It's a wrong reason. Children are a product of marriage.
And marriage stands on love.
It's built on love. Whether you have or you don't have, for as long as you love one another. That's the most important thing.
Could you have said this before you got a child with that woman?
That's what kept us going. That understanding.
Let me ask
my
you.
Exposure.
Let me ask you again.
Yes.
It's unfortunate your wife died.
Yes.
But it's also fortunate that you got 2 children.
Yes.
I want to believe they're alive.
Yes, they are.
Praise God.
Yes.
With hindsight and what you've gone through, supposing your wife was alive and you lived, but without a child, supposing to go to a point where it was like permanent, you wouldn't get children. From your own experience,
yes.
Because you went through 13 years, and by 13 years in a home without a child,
although I know
I'm sure it's not a joke.
There are some who have gone even beyond that one, yes,
So
but it's not a mean feat, yes.
Supposing you actually got to a point to know medically and in another way, age-wise and everything is no longer possible, would you still say that marriage can stand without children and that you'd have continued that way?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would have continued that way. Because my beliefs, children are a gift from God. Children are a gift from God. And that's why sometimes, we are human beings. Let me tell you this. I used to ask myself, here I am, I'm a man of God, standing at the altar, preaching, encouraging people. And, Anglicans, we baptize children. Mothers bring their children for dedication, bring their children for baptism. I take them, I give them to my vicar to baptize them. Yet I don't have one.
Yes.
You know the kind of question that would ask God?
Yes.
Why me? You go to the streets, you find the street families. They have children. Then you ask God, even these people have children.
Why not?
You are servant. You are denying children.
Yes.
But God in a still voice told me, I am the Alpha and Omega. I'm the one who does all these things.
Yes.
I'm the one who does all these things. I knew you even before you were formed in your mother's womb.
Yes.
And I knew the kind of life you're going to lead.
Yes.
Keep up the faith. Keep up the faith. Keep on loving.
Keep up the faith.
Yes.
Yes. Keep up the faith. But I want to ask you this.
Yes.
You want to tell me there were never any moments in those 13 years when you gave up? Even Job was strong, of course. But those around him, like his wife, told, now surely, even this God of yours, surely. Now this is excess, surely. I know you love your God. You trust your God. But surely, this far, you are still with him.
Yes.
Did you, like Job's wife, did you get where Job's wife got?
Like any other human beings, we also have our feelings and we also get our lows and our highs. It reached such of those moments. But you see, as a believer, our manual is the Bible. There are so many examples in the Bible. People who have gone through that. Of course, Job, like Job you are mentioning. What kept me going was that I believed that there must be a reason why God is taking me through this. And at one point, I will come to realize what is happening, what is going to happen. I will come to realize why these things are happening. And going through, like the story of Joseph, the story of Joseph in the Bible, he was tormented, he was thrown in a pit, he was falsely accused and was jailed. But that was the route which was leading him.
So you kept the faith.
Yes.
Love and your Christian faith.
Yes.
Which means for people in similar situations without some faith, either Islamic faith or let's just say
any other faith,
religious faith, and without love, is it your testimony that it will be very difficult for them?
Well, apart from Muslims, but I also believe that even Muslims are supposed to can marry up to 4. But I believe,
let's just put it at Christian level. Yeah.
Yes,
that is easier for us.
Yes. Well, the point I wanted to make was that you don't get married because you don't have a child, then you get to another. Because it's like you are condemning your partner, whom you agreed in the first place. You took a vow for better and for worse.
Did she ever do anything to make you feel, now this person is taking me through this childlessness, a family without children, and here she is doing this to me?
Well, I can say as a family, like any other family, there
are issues.
There are definitely issues. But of course, you know how
Did those thoughts ever cross your mind?
We say we normally fight fairly. We fight fairly.
Yes.
It never reached that point. There were temptations to get there, but of course I would just come back immediately that she's a human being, I'm also a human being. She may also be feeling the same about me, but she may not.
You are sisters. You told me you are 10 siblings.
Yes.
In situations such as yours, your sisters and your aunts will do everything possible to link you with other women. Were there such attempts?
Fortunately, all our families are Christian background. They were, of course, they were concerned.
About friends outside there who loved you,
of course,
and felt the need to link you with a woman, so that at least for the sake of just
exactly. Even her, she was also told the same.
Yes.
We are coming from this society
this guy is a problem.
That's can we get somebody who can help? You know, that kind of thing. And she told them
just to rule out.
Yes, she told them, excuse me, you are going too far. You are going
the
too
same
far.
To you.
The same to me. And we said, we took a vow and we shall remain by that. Strangely enough, I had a conviction that I'll have a story to tell about it all. I looked at the great men of God who went through difficulties, and at the final analysis, they were telling a good story. And I said, this is building a testimony.
I think you'll share this with the viewer in our next episode. You've heard it from our guests. In our next episode, he will share with us that life, 13 years without a child. What it is like, what a man goes through, what a woman goes through. But this channel is about love. And to repeat, we are saying, what you think is so difficult can indeed be managed in the context of love. The faith to live with a woman that long without a child, with the pressure from parents, peers, friends, community, faith alone may not be enough. It must be love. So please subscribe to this channel so that we continue sharing. Thank you.
Let's get together and feel alright. Hear the children